Hey everyone out there. Thank you for tuning into this episode of Breaking and Entering. I'm one of your hosts, Enoch.
I'm your other host, Blair.
And today we have a magical person on with us. Someone who is just honestly one of the rocks pillars in my life. Known her for so long. I can call her any time of night and see her answer and be coherent, surprisingly. She's fantastic. She's wonderful. Leah Mason.
Hello.
So, you and Blair are just meeting right now.
We are.
And
nice to meet you, Blair.
They've bonded already, so it's really great. But how do me and you know each other?
So we met in 6th grade.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, back to Browns Mill, through middle, high. Kept up a little bit through college.
How personal
and then more after.
How personal are we going
I
with
didn't
this?
know if we were going that deep.
Technically, at least in my life, this lovely young woman was my first girlfriend ever in life.
What? I didn't know it was the first.
You were my first girlfriend, 12 years old. You were my first girlfriend. Yep. First girlfriend.
We got history.
Which means that, which means obviously I'm an idiot because I should have known at that point, you know. So yes, very great. And we've been able to maintain a friendship. So for all those who think that men and women can't have a genuine friendship,
You're
right. We're an example.
We're an example of it, yes. That's a whole nother episode of podcast.
Okay, that's
So that's great. Okay, so for the topic today, this is actually to me a very interesting topic.
It is.
I'm gonna categorize it as a field of study episode for us, but the topic is marriage is a brand. So when I just said that, what did you think of, Blair?
I thought of Nike.
Okay, why?
And I thought of Coke. Okay, so here's the thing. So Nike is like super big. They have this like swoop thing, and they have college athletes, pro athletes that are wearing their shoes, and that's like probably what's attracting most of their customers that come to it. They have this brand that is powerful people that are really good at what they do. The heroes of your world are wearing these. Don't you want to wear it too? And then on the other hand, we have Coca-Cola, which has, so by the way, there have been studies on Coca-Cola versus Pepsi on taste tests. And on average, people cannot tell the difference if they are not labeled. However, when you use the label, people tend to prefer Coke, at least in the South. And that's because they have this family brand, right? They have, Santa on the can and a polar bear, and who doesn't like polar bears?
They're also made in the South.
Made in the South. So there's something about branding that it even literally affects our taste of it. It makes it taste better to us. I don't know. That's another psyche thing that I think is interesting. So branding, it can change multiple perceptions of how we see something.
So Nike wouldn't choose an athlete that's terrible, averaging in basketball 1 point per game on the bench. They wouldn't choose that, right?
It wouldn't do them any good.
And Coca-Cola wouldn't go against that family brand by doing something against the family, right?
No.
So why would we choose a spouse that's a bench player? A spouse that goes against our values? So when you heard marriage is a brand, what did you think of?
So I thought of, when I think of a brand, I think of a representation of a company when that CEO or the people that work there aren't present. So like for instance, when I think of a marriage and I think of a spouse being either the other half or the complement, what they both do complements the other. So even though I'm not in the room, you can tell I'm connected to this person. So I like it as that visual aspect when I'm not present.
So what I don't like this about America, or I don't dislike, I don't care, but a corporation is seen as a person. And just by law, it's seen as a person. So if a corporation is seen as a person, that they have like the physical presence of a person, so that means they have this brand, they have this thing. So I think the reason that I really wanted to discuss this, well, we had a conversation about it, but is that I'm seeing people who are amazing, absolutely incredible in all aspects, and they're choosing spouses that just are not. And usually how it goes, because I'm amazing, usually ends up to having a lot of success, which usually ends up having a lot of money and a lot of influence, which means that usually the spouse I choose is just somebody who is just quote unquote hot. But seriously, and and like I said, you can be smart and hot, you could be kind and hot. You could be hot in other things, but these people are just hot. Like, hot is what they stand on as a person. It's who they are.
Right.
And when you're physical, it's who you are. And honestly, physical goes in several decades, except to the person who loves you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but it goes. So that hotness is not forever. So if that's who you are, you're something very fickle.
That's true. And I think it depends on how you see yourself. So if your representation of yourself is based on what everybody else says, you may not even know you're great. So how would you know to choose someone who's great?
And then they come down to self-perception, psychological perception. What are our perceived inadequacies and whatnot? Because truth is, say I'm a 9 or a 10, right? And we're going to use an arbitrary scale, right? But what if I only feel like a 5 or a 6?
That's true.
I'm not going to go after the 9 or a 10. I'm going to go after the 5 or 6. And that's not necessarily just on a physical attraction scale. That can be on a full scale of who are you as a person. You're a 5 or a 6.
So if you're a 5 or a 6, again, by marriage being a brand, brands seek after things that they think is going to elevate the brand. So if you're a 5 or a 6, you should, because it's arbitrary, so that means that you can be a 5 and become a 1, or you become a 5 and become a 10, depending on you. So you should be seeking a spouse that's going to take you to that 10. So because it's a brand, like I said, so we can put love is great. Everybody loves love. Y'all have heard my episodes. Y'all know about me and love. Love is amazing. It's wonderful. It's almost everything. But when you're talking about marriage, marriage isn't just love. There have been plenty of couples who got divorced and they loved each other.
Yeah, it's not enough. It's
not enough, because marriage becomes literally the worst contract you're ever going to sign. I mean, seriously, if you signed a marriage contract, if it was for anything else, a business, you'd be like, hell no. Okay, like you would never sign that. But you're signing it because you love this person, and just because you love them, or you think you're in love with the idea of this person. So when how would you go about choosing a spouse, Leah?
So for me, I think it all goes down to purpose. So first I have to be whole, right? So I have to know who I am, what I want to spend my life doing. And then I look for someone who complements that. So regardless of attraction, because people can be attractive, but that's not enough for me. So to me, if I don't know where you're going, I don't want to be a part of it.
If you don't, what do you mean by where they're going?
So like their purpose. So like I want to know mine. I want them to know theirs, but I want our purposes to complement. Because at the end of the day, I feel like that's what you're really married to. Because as they continue to evolve, it's their purpose that they're really seeking. It's not love. That's not the chase. Everyone chases after purpose. That's what keeps us up at night.
Okay. Oh, that was good. Okay, that was really good. You silenced me. I had nothing to say, so that was amazing.
I know, I saw that face.
I was like, okay, yeah, that does. My purpose does keep me up at night. So, Blair, I know that's a tough follow-up. But, so how do you think about choosing a spouse?
Well, I gotta say, for me, it doesn't matter about purpose.
Okay.
That's not. I find it attractive when someone does have a purpose, but it's not a deal breaker if they don't. I guess is more my point. The things that matter to me, I want the 9 or a 10, and not like physical is an aspect of that, but I want everything around that, right? I want the person who cares, who's accountable, who treats the waiter with respect when I'm not there, right? Big actions, they matter, but sometimes it's the small actions that matter more. It's the little day by day things that other people don't see, and only you're gonna end up seeing if you're with this person. Those are what matter. I want those to be on the 9 or 10 level, and that's how I would choose. That's how I make my brand. That's my brand. I want the person who's real, and real there.
What about you?
What about me? So I believe I have a gift of being very naturally motivated. Most people don't have to like, hey Enoch, do this, this, and that, and I'm already up at night working on it. So very naturally motivated, which makes me accomplish a lot of things. All the women who I've had a deep sense of care for are the ones that, when they saw my natural motivation and they gave me who they were, I wanted to do even more. Like I wanted to like, okay, I thought I was at 100, but maybe I'm only at 75. Like I want to push it up. I want to raise the bar. I want to raise the stake. And then I think that's also why like my heartbreak is a little, or at least to me, is a little more devastating, because then it's like I feel like I dropped back down to 75, but now I know I'm at 75. So it's like, okay, how can I rise back up to this 100? So for me, it becomes the elevation factor that by myself I can be at this level, but with you added to me, I'm here. And like all my favorite couples, I think that's something that they have in common. So I think that, you know, obviously like a Barack and Michelle, they're both equally amazing. I mean, like they're high up there, but together it's just like you're in this awe. It's almost like it's a angelic, heavenly awe, like when you see them together, because they're just so amazing together. Now by themselves, you'll just be like, oh, y'all are great. But together, y'all are like the epitome, for me at least, of relationship goals. And even like I said, that's the other ones like Will and Jada, I think are very similar.
Yep.
Denzel and his wife, so it doesn't have to be two famous people, but I think every single time I see her interaction with him, even though she's not famous, it's just like, it's amazing. So that's like, I'm always looking after those relationships that kind of like elevate brands. So, I like where this is going already. So now we got to flip the topic though, because all of that was nice, beautiful, wonderful. We've all had heartbreak. We've all made bad decisions. So you said purpose for you. Mm-hmm. Why did you choose someone who your purposes didn't align? Or did you think that they aligned at that time?
Oh. So I've only...
She's perfect, guys.
No!
Absolutely perfect. If you don't know that, she's perfect.
So I actually look at purpose. So that's one thing, because that's what helps draw me to that person. Mm-hmm. Like that's something that fills my cup up, because I'm very purpose driven. Mm-hmm. So I'm attracted to people who are the same way. But what's been hard with that is that sometimes men want to be perfect before they can actually continue the pursuit. So like, let's say for instance, they're building a business, they're building a brand. They want to have that together sometimes before the woman comes. So then that makes it harder for me, because I want to be there for the build. I know I can add, but then if they don't want that, then now there's a block.
So have you found that's been like your biggest obstacle in finding
Mr. Right?
Mr. Right, yeah.
I think so. I feel like that could be one of the factors. And for me, spirituality is big. So that's also something too. And it's not that we have to be on the same, like, well, I want us to both have a relationship with God, but at the same point, I know that we're both growing. But I want us to at least have that same desire. Okay. So again, Leah doesn't make mistakes. So she's perfect.
I think you make, I really like your point though. Okay. So finding someone whose purpose complements yours. And the reason why I say this is because anyone who starts a marriage, right, day one, you're a certain person, each of you. But 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, 30, everyone at 30 years is a completely different person than they were at day one.
It's true.
Their essence may have stayed the same. I think. I mean, that's my belief. I think we
but you're
all
supposed
have
to grow, but you can also decline, though.
But I think that if your purposes are aligned, then that kind of helps you develop along the same path, right?
They'll give a better chance to success.
Right. you have a better chance of helping each other grow. So
and be in that elevation.
Yeah. There you go. Bring it back. So for you, Blair, when you were so why did you choose women the way that you chose if they didn't add to your brand? Or did they add to your brand and it didn't work out for other factors?
I don't know. Okay, let's see.
It's not many times that I stumped Blair, so I'm actually proud. I'm kind of relishing in this moment.
Take it in. Take it in.
Yes. I just got the 5th Infinity Stone. Oh, yes.
Thanos is one of my favorite characters.
He's one of my favorite characters too.
Actually, he might. Never mind.
Oh no, he's not. He's not. I don't have Iron Man, and no, sorry, don't have Thanos on this one.
All I got is Lion King. Anyways, she was my brand. I think she was.
Wow.
And our own psyches got in the way of what we could be. I think that had we been able to move past our own perceived inadequacies, we would have grown to make each other better. But we had too much holding us back at that time. That's honestly, that's really all I have to say about it.
So apparently I'm the only person in this who makes mistakes. And I'm willing, or at least I'm the only one willing to admit I make mistakes. So personally, so I like really good looking women. Point in case. Really, really good looking women. And for me, I can perfectly admit that a lot of times that I have overlooked things that are blatantly obvious in this woman that they don't add to my brand. They might add to my physical brand that, oh my gosh, people see that I was able to get a woman like this on my arm and they're like, okay, you must be amazing.
We call that booty blind.
Well, I've been booty blind many times. And like I said, I know that's usually been my number one. It's just like, I'm super attracted to you. And like I said, I'm relatively young, so the women I've been attracted to have been getting hotter through the years. And so it's like I haven't gotten to the point where they declined or anything. So it's just like I'm still liking you. Just like it just you know, just stop looking so good. Like so like for me personally, as I've grown and as I've gotten older and more seasoned, it's become, let me close my eyes and see what I feel. Let me see the connection that I have with this person. And like I said, the women who I've had the deepest relationship with, while they are quite beautiful, there were definitely flags of them being, I don't even want to call it crazy. I want it to be dysfunctional for me. Because for somebody else, like that might be exactly what they need. But for me, it was dysfunctional. It was a headache. Sometimes I'm honestly still surprised I have all of my hair. Because the stress was real. So, again, so for me, it was like, it's a physicality thing. And I would say the physicality comes to me not knowing what I wanted either. Meaning that, like, I think when I see you, and because my eyes are so drawn to you, that means that I want you. But, or at least like my presence, my essence wants you. Which, no, that's not
true.
the case.
I think it changes over time because the closer I got to my purpose, the more I started becoming attractive to that.
Yeah.
So that wasn't the first case. You know, of course it was attraction as a factor, but I was like, but there's more to life than just attraction.
Okay, we couldn't get that with her initial answer. Like,
No, because I'm thinking, I'm like, as I've grown, that is what I look for. So.
Now you're trying to rewind.
Don't
So
you're not by yourself.
I'm fine. I'm gonna keep it real. Hey guys, I have been booty blinded. Okay, absolutely. It was just like smack. Like wasn't seeing anything. She like crazy, and I'm like, move out the way. She looked good. That's what it was. So I think I just lost one of the Infinity Stones with that one. So I guess now the thing that I would say is, so what is your brand currently? And what kind of guy, woman for you, would you think would add to that brand?
Wow, Wow, it's
I
such
know.
a deep question.
It
What
is.
is my brand?
Sound like kind of questions we ask.
I
Yes, the only
see. Wow. Okay, I would say my brand, would be impacting the community. So like I'm one person that loves. So like for instance, if Blair was not your friend before today, I would make sure y'all were friends. Like that's just the type of person I am. Like I love connecting others.
Very true.
So that
Very
is my
true.
spirit. So I feel like when it comes to my purpose, it's always going to align with that. So it doesn't matter what project I do. If I'm at work, if it's somebody new, someone seasoned, they're going to know each other. So I feel like my whole life has revolved around building a community around me of like-minded people who help each other grow.
Shameless plug for her. She did this whole thing called It Takes a Village. She brought the entire community
Can I
together.
tell them what I did?
Go for it, Leah Mason, please.
So I graduated December of 2019 with my MBA in healthcare management.
She graduated. Her accomplishment. Her success. Keep going.
And I had a graduation celebration called It Takes a Village. So basically, I brought together 12 local businesses. They were vending at the event. I had a black caterer. I had a black saxophonist. And then we all got together. People got to meet and connect. And it was just celebrating business. So it was really fun. I enjoyed it.
So if you're not already in love with this girl right now, turn off the podcast. This ain't for you. We don't want your people watching her. She's absolutely amazing. So that's your brand.
Yes. So what type of man adds to that brand? Oh, I feel like he'll have the same heart for the community. Because I feel like I'm going to be spending so much time reaching out to the community, I can't see myself with someone who doesn't also have that same love. I feel like that would be very difficult. Someone who's definitely business-minded or at least open to the idea of a business. So, like, for instance, I don't believe that if I have a strength in something, my man also has to have the same strength. But he has to trust what I do have. So I feel like it's that combination of the two.
Okay, so where's the place at that you're weak that you will want him to have a strength in to be able to add to your brand?
That's
I know.
good. I think where I'm weak, so it's kind of interesting for a girl. I'm a little cutthroat. I'm not gonna lie. So
straight up,
not little.
not little. She's guillotine. Just head rolls off.
I'm not that because I'm business minded. But I would want someone. I think where my weakness lies is I probably don't show as much empathy as I should. So I actually want that aspect out of a man because I do care about people as a whole, but I don't know if I'm as detailed as I should be in that area. Like I feel like that would be a nice balance for me. So I don't think he can be just like me. I don't think that would work.
No. The community is going to be a business for real. Like, okay, so you heard her interest, Blair. Your turn.
Okay. Ask. I will answer.
So when it comes down to, well, first of all, so what is your brand?
What is my brand?
And what do you think it takes for someone to complement that brand for you?
So I did Taekwondo for like 9 years, I guess. I don't know, but it was a big part of my life. It taught me a lot. It gave me discipline, and one lesson, one principle that it gave me was lead by example. I don't know. I probably wouldn't know what that means if I didn't go through it. Do you guys know what that means?
Lead by example.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think I do, but
Okay.
elucidate.
So basically, it means be the change in the world that you want to see, right? And so, I don't know. That's always been like a really big thing for me. And so, my brand really is loving and caring the people around me, caring about the people around me, right? And in someone that I'm, going to be with, that's what I need to see. Like, I want to be attracted, no doubt, but that's a major part of what attracts me to people is actually caring, like you caring about your family, you caring about my family, like you wanting to be in other people's lives, to contribute to them, to build them up. Like, that's what I want. Anything less wouldn't truly fulfill me in a relationship.
So, again, adding to that, so what is a weakness that you think your brand lacks right now? And what could that person bring to make it now a strength?
don't know if it's like about my brand per se, but sometimes I trust people too much. And sometimes I need someone that's a little bit more objective than me to come in and kind of show me a different perspective that I'm not seeing because I have my trust blinders on, right? I need someone to help balance my like free spirit in that way. So
that is brand though, because like think about Nike. If they have an athlete who has had all this negative media attention, then the athlete comes and says, "Hey, I'm sorry, I won't do it again." Nike's 9 times out of 10 not going to trust that they're going to do it. They're like, "Hey, we're going to sever ties," as opposed to trying to trust on your word. So I would say that's still your brand. Your brand is trusting, which that's a great aspect. Don't change, but we need his spouse to definitely reel it in. So for me, I would say my brand is all about healing. I think that we're dealing with a lot of broken people in this world. Honestly, I would say we're all broken. We all are broken, but we deserve to be whole. Each and every one of us. And so I think it's the society's job to try to push for that healing and that wholeness, but I don't see society pushing for it in a genuine way. I think they're pushing for it as like this is just a new trend to push for it, but like actually to like what does it mean to break down trauma, tragedy, like generational curses, like it's a whole deep level to this. Like what does that mean? And I'm willing to put in the work to try to, well, first I had to put in the work for myself. Like, and I'm willing to always constantly put in the work of self-reflection and introspection to try to heal myself. And so, but what does it mean for my community, the people I love, the world that I live in? And so that's always my brand. Everything I do is all about healing. So if I ever offend anybody, it's like, to me, my intention was to heal you. I'm sorry you didn't, but like that's always what it is. Now, a spouse, how could she add to that brand? I think when it comes down to me wanting to heal people, I think she would have to be, I'm very much optimist. I think the world can become perfect. In my heart of hearts, I believe we can live in a perfect society, a perfect world. I really do. Like, maybe not this generation, but I think we can strive and get there eventually. I think I need the wife to be the realist and being like, some people just are fine with being broken and you got to let them go. So I need the person who's going to stabilize me in terms, because I will be one of those people, I will go after a lost cause. I can look at my relationships. I will go after a lost cause.
It has happened, and I have been there most of the time.
Again, very true. So again, that would be the thing that I would really want her to help me with, and that's my weakness in terms of that. Then I would honestly, I think the biggest thing that she would be able to do for me is to always remind me of my joy and like why I'm doing this. Because, like I said, I'm doing a work of healing. It's not fun. Yeah. It's not pleasant. It's not going to put a lot of smile on people's faces as you're going through it. The end result will. Yeah. So when you deal with broken people and brokenness and the tragedy that, because we're all this way for a reason, like, that's saddening. And so with her, like I said, me and her being together and her experiencing this with me, like, to be able to be that force that can constantly remind me that, hey, you're doing this for this and that reason, and like we are the healing that we want the world to have. Like, she does that for me. Like, it's beautiful. Every single day, man. I'm gonna love her every single day, and I'm gonna choose to love her every single day. So that's always a very, very most important thing, to choose to love someone every single day.
That's good.
Okay, welcome back to the second part of our podcast, because we're gonna pretty much do part 1s and part 2s from here on out. So something interesting was brought up in the break. So to hear everything that we kind of summed up, it was like healing, community, family. Fantastic, because it really just shows that we want to, again, push the world forward. You know, really and clichely make the world a better place. Which that shouldn't be a cliche, because it should be just what it is. So.
The thing that I found in my short life is that even though cliches in certain moments, they seem very cheesy, but in the right moments, they're exactly what need to be said.
They're cliches for a reason.
Exactly.
Like, I honestly want to have some of my things become cliche because that means they were so good.
They were so good, people got tired of hearing them.
Exactly. That's what it is. So,
yeah.
So did you have something else before?
I did.
Yeah.
Okay. So it was something that you ended on, and it's not necessarily relevant to this, like the subject of this podcast, but I've been hearing it a lot lately, and that is like wake up and choose to love, right? Choose to love your partner, whether that's your partner or anybody else. But my point is, I think you have to make a conscious choice to love, but I think you should also have this unconscious choice to love, so that even if you didn't choose to love, love would be there, but you also make a choice. Does that make sense?
Okay. I mean, it's a very hard concept to grasp.
Yeah.
Just initially.
I know.
So just to make sure that I was getting what you're saying, it's pretty much you're saying that, like, so every single day you wake up with this person, you choose to love them. But let's just say that today, for whatever reason, you were distracted from that choice. Subconsciously, the choice was already made.
Yes. It's still there.
It's beautiful. I love it. The only thing I can think about that is then most people don't ever love. Because if you didn't choose consciously to love that person, then to me you wouldn't be able to cheat on them because you subconsciously chose them anyway, so you wouldn't be able to go step out on the relationship. You wouldn't be able to. And a lot of people say, "Oh, I cheated that one time, but I still love you, baby." Like, whenever they say I still love it, walk away. So wow, I mean, let's see, an argument can really be made that most people have never known love. It can be. It's saddening to think of a world like that because love is all around us. It's in every single movie, every single song, every single everything. But it's like, so you think of a world where all of our art reflects love, but for us in reality to not have that much of it, that's actually kind of depressing.
Courtesy of me.
Yeah, courtesy of Blair. But this isn't supposed to be necessarily a happy podcast. If happiness is the feeling that comes from what we're saying, this would be a real podcast.
Right.
Yeah.
And life in reality can be very sad. It's inside out. Sadness plays a great part.
Where do you think you found your definition of love? Like, do you think it was from the people you saw? Do you think it was from media?
My current definition or the definition that, like, I kind of had with me growing up?
You could go with both.
For obviously growing up is, I mean, your family plays the biggest role of every single thing. So I would say for me, like, I remember when my sister was born because she was born when I was 12 years old. So I was I was fully formed.
There.
She was there. I've technically known her longer than I've known my little sister, technically. So for me, it was like, I remember, because obviously I was a baby for 12 years. So I have two older brothers. I'm the baby for 12 years. And everybody kept asking my mom, like, everybody calls me Tay. So they're like, do you think Tay's going to be jealous of, like, having a little sister, all this kind of stuff? And my mom would always say that, like, I just took on responsibilities that were just, like, I was never just, like, I love her to death. Like, when I saw her, it was just like.
She's mine.
Yes, she's mine. But, like, literally when I saw her, being a 12-year-old, I came to this conscious opinion that she will have to, and I'm 12 at the time, really. I having this epiphany at 12. I was like, one day she's going to be old enough where she's going to be dating somebody. And I want that somebody to treat her right. So every single person that I dated, somebody's daughter, and more than likely somebody's sister as well. So if I want men to treat my sister well, it starts with me treating women well.
That's good. So,
like, for the most part, like you said, I've never intentionally hurt somebody. I've been a pretty decent guy, and I try to always step in a purposeness of trying to love the person who I was with. Any of my exes who you talk to, none of them hate me. None of them dislike me. Most of them are, with a lot of them, most of them are friends still. Like, I mean, so. Exhibit A. So, yeah. So that would be, I guess, from upbringing. Now I have a completely different definition of love now. And this has come from, I guess, being a little bit jaded and stuff like that. But think in life we have a moral code. We have a moral code that society kind of gives us and comes from family and all that good stuff. But we have a moral code that we also develop through our own experiences. And it's like, I would not do this. This is not, like, some people it's like stealing, I would not steal.
Yeah.
Some people it's like murder, I would not murder. To me, the people who you truly, in your heart of hearts, love are the people where that moral code becomes kind of gray for. It's like, so it's like, you know, hey, I would not steal, but if my woman is hungry and I love her, she gonna eat. So, like, there's gonna be, she gonna have food on her table. So how that happens? Not advocating for anybody going and stealing, but like, to me, that's where my new form of like definition of love, because it's like, that's really when it becomes real. It's like, if at the end of the day, like for me, like even I look back at the biblical story with Lot, and he didn't look back when his wife looked back and became a pillar of salt. Yeah. To me, I would have looked back as well, because she's a pillar of salt, I'm a pillar of salt.
Wow, come on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's love.
Yeah, that's
we
love.
Both gonna be salty.
Yeah, yeah, and that's me.
Nice.
That is me in a nutshell. Yeah.
I like it.
You wanna go or you want me to?
That's up to you.
Go for it. You're the lady. You're the lady.
You want me to go?
Yeah,
Okay.
go.
So Disney messed a lot of us up. Because
you're the biggest Disney fan of all time.
I know, because you just feel like, you know, Prince Charles, you're gonna walk somewhere, he's gonna show up, you're gonna be like, yes, Lord,
He's
that's
gonna
the
have a guitar
one.
in his
You
hands.
know,
It's gonna
he
be
can
nice
sing,
New Orleans
he can
movies.
dance,
Yes.
he's tall. Like none of the Disney princes are short. They're gorgeous. Think about it. They mess
Disney,
with you.
Yeah, I'm proud of you. Like, we need a short
And I
Prince,
appreciate,
okay?
you know, the joy
Yes.
that it brings, but at the
Yes.
same time,
We need a short Prince, okay?
do that. You can write that.
I got it.
I want
Disney, you're getting a
an
call.
unattractive Prince too. Like the one that's like,
He can't
oh,
be, no.
so...
The short one has to be attractive.
And
We
he
can
can't
get
sing.
a good second.
Yeah,
I
short
can't-
guy's attractive, no doubt.
He ain't short and unattractive. He ain't getting the girl.
He
Okay?
can't get both.
He's gonna
Yeah.
be the comic relief, okay? That's what he's gonna be.
Man, but no, Disney, it did. I really feel like it makes women feel like if you don't have that spark, you know, like when you first see somebody, that they're not it. But I feel like you miss so many opportunities with great people because you're looking for the spark. So me now, I want to give the biblical love, right? I want to do agape, unconditional. But at the same time, from a realistic standpoint, is this person worth me giving unconditional love to? So if I don't know this person, I'm not going to put that effort towards them.
Scary.
Because I know how much it would take of me, because I don't want them to do the same. So I'm doing myself a disservice if I give that to the wrong person.
You know,
We gotta go back. What's
come back.
wrong?
Yeah. Respond to that.
you know, in the people who go with agape love, I think there's a large portion of us that do not fully think about what that actually means. What does unconditional mean?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
No conditions.
Yeah.
So that means, like.
I gotta tell you, I mean, even the highest forms of love that I've seen in my life, they
Still
might-
unconditional.
Yeah.
they're conditional. If he cheats on you, you still gonna love him. If he goes against your highest value, can you still love him? I mean,
Unconditional means if I did the worst thing possible,
Right.
whatever your worst thing is, I did it. You still love me.
right?
I'm honest. I'm trying to think. Is there anybody I love like that? Like, I mean,
That's what I'm
Right.
saying.
I was just telling you about my sister. I'm like, nah.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm like, if you killed my mom, we gonna have
Yeah.
Yeah.
like. I don't know. Maybe I could overcome that, but it wouldn't be immediate. It wouldn't be at that moment.
It wouldn't be like, oh yeah, my mom. You know. She must have did something. Like, it's not gonna be like my mama. Like, you better kill me too, okay? One of us ain't coming out of the situation, okay?
And then a deeper question is, I'm not sure that should even be strived for. Maybe there should be some conditions. I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that. I'm just saying, if you kill my mom, do you still deserve that same kind of love? I don't know.
Wow, you had me thinking on that one. So let me ask you this. Let's say that you meet this guy.
Okay.
And you immediately start out by giving him unconditional love. Don't do that. But,
Yeah,
but
that sounds like I don't. That's why I'm like, okay.
But let's just say you did.
Role play. Okay.
if he wasn't giving you unconditional love, don't you think you would immediately feel that and then withdraw your unconditional love?
And that's why I'm so particular about even giving that in the first place. So I wouldn't even get to that spot. I don't automatically give unconditional love. I still feel like that needs to be earned.
Okay.
Like that's just not something I freely give.
What is earned? Like I said, like do you
can you withdraw unconditional love? Doesn't that mean it was always conditional?
Oh, yeah. That's philosophical. Yes,
It is.
it is.
It's like that
No. I guess it is unconditional, and then you give it conditions. It's like you're like, oh, okay. You didn't have these, but now here you go.
Never mind. Here we go.
Here we go. I ain't nobody's fool the second time. Like, here you go.
When a person shows you who they are, believe them.
Yes. Because you were saying earned. Like how?
How do you earn?
Like,
how do you
do you see how low I got for this? Like, how do you?
He needed to look
up. Yeah, I needed to see God. Like this, I wasn't asking Leah. I was asking.
Please help.
Please help.
So I feel like it goes back to something you guys said in an earlier podcast: consistency, right? So I think that the more consistent you are with your actions towards me, with how our interactions are with one another, with what we're striving towards, I feel like that sets the stage for unconditional love to take place. Because now I trust you because you're being consistent with me.
Is unconditional love just trust for you though?
You said, is it trust?
Is it just trust?
Is it just trust?
No, I think it's deeper than trust.
Okay.
But I think that helps lay the groundwork for it to happen.
So what Blair just said, should we be doing unconditional love for anybody? Like, how do you feel about that?
For anybody? So I feel like in the context of a marriage, I feel like that should be the goal.
Okay.
To unconditionally love your spouse. But if it's something where like you're just getting to know somebody, I don't think it's needed. So if it's boyfriend, girlfriend, I think you're setting the stage for that to one day take place. Like you're striving towards it. So I won't say it's always like this is the place we're going to end up in, but I'm trying to get to this place where I unconditionally love you.
Okay, so the goal for a marriage, not the pursuit. You said the goal, so it means that it needs to be like you need to have done this. Like
then it could be the pursuit if you want to use it that way.
I mean, because the goal is something like you accomplish a goal. Pursuit just means like it's just I'm always trying to get. Okay.
I think that's the heart of it. You know, like the mindset.
I agree with pursuit.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree with getting there.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you were gonna say it's a goal. My next question was gonna be
how do we?
When is that point? Do I get to the goal before I marry to you?
Yeah,
after the marriage? Is it at the first kid? Is it like what we doing?
Oh, it's real now. But yeah, I think the pursuit of it. I think the goal should be to pursue unconditional love.
Gotcha. Okay, I like that. I do like that. That's fantastic. Okay. Either one of you have anything to add?
I'm all out of ideas.
Okay. So I guess now our next segment is always my favorite segment: the films, television, books. So for this one, I'm thinking that like let's think of a couple, on-screen couple, who literally to me, two of them.
Okay.
On-screen couple. So one where the two of them elevated the brand, so they were the brand, and another one where like like it was like one of these people shouldn't have chose the other one.
Oh.
Yep. I don't even have one that my person thinking. Yeah.
I know.
But I was like, you gotta go both.
Yeah.
You gotta go both. Okay, I got my first one.
You do?
You got something?
I might.
I got my first.
You got your first. That second one.
Okay, well, just be thinking about the second one. Okay, go for the first one then.
Okay.
Me or him?
Creed 2.
Oh.
Michael B.
He was gonna make it in one of these.
He was.
I don't know. I love that relationship. I wrote like a short essay and sent it to you regarding Creed 2.
He did. He actually. It was
right after
very good. It was very good.
Real.
We have a great friendship.
I love that.
You know, he got his ass kicked. Like
he did.
You remember Rocky? Like whew, like how bad Rocky got beat?
Yeah, no, it was worse.
It was worse.
It was so much worse.
It was worse.
It was so much worse.
And his ego made it even worse than that, right? And it destroyed him, like spirit-wise, completely. I mean, you don't have your spirit. I mean, I don't know what you do after that. And yet, even as he was withdrawing from her, right, little by little, it seemed that she was still striving to give him the support that he needed to rebuild that spirit. She reminded him of his why, of his purpose, right? This is why we're here. And in the end, after she helps rebuild him, he is there when his daughter is born, right? Has her congenital deafness. And their strength together almost makes that an asset.
Favorite line in that movie is when they find out that she might have this hearing condition, and Michael B. Jordan and Rocky's like, he was like, are you gonna love her? He's like, she's my daughter, of course I'm gonna love her, like acting like stupid, of course I'm gonna love her. And he was like, well, that girl ain't feeling sorry for herself, why are you? I was like, oh, yes, Rocky, yes, like, yes, give her some punching bags, let her get in the dream. That's the next one. So, great one though, great one.
So I think mine's a combo. I want to say it's a mixture of elevating brand but unconditional love. Like, I feel like this is the closest I've seen on film. It's The Notebook. Like, that film, just the end scene alone, it's like, listen.
They died together, bro.
There is no, that's what I'm saying. There is no life without you. If you don't breathe, I don't breathe. Like, we both out.
Yes, Leah.
And the fact that he spent his last hours making sure that he could make her days better. Like, that was his life. Her life was his life. They were one. His kids
were saying, give up.
Yeah,
they were one.
Yeah, yes, they were one. That is the goal.
But again, the kids were like, Dad, you just need to give up on Mom. Like, she ain't coming back. I was like, the kid.
And what did he say? He's like, she's my darling.
Yeah.
Like, and it was so simple. It was a period to him. It wasn't a comma. There was no pause.
Come on. That's it.
Yes, Leah.
You're welcome.
Yes.
There was no back and down.
I should let you go last because that was the best. That was definitely gonna be the best one. Okay, so for this one, so I'm not gonna say the movie yet. But so for him, he started off as this place of like wanting to become a politician, and he's working as a police officer and stuff like that. And his dad has built this life for him to get to politics.
Okay. She
is this famous. You got it. You know it. She is this famous pop star. And she is like doing very raunchy, sexualized music and stuff like that. And so what he wants though is to be, he wants to be this politician that actually makes a difference. That like helps people. That, you know, it actually makes a difference in community and not have to play all these games. But his dad just teaches him how to play the game. And she actually wants to make real, deep, thought-provoking music. That's who all they're on the outside. So when they come meet together, they become those people they wanted to be. So the movie was beyond the lights.
We watched that movie together.
We did.
Like,
yeah.
You showed
we
it
were
to
just
me.
talking about that the other day.
Yes. It was so, like, they became the people who they wanted, who they were deep down on the inside because they found each other. Like, that's the ultimate elevation of a brand. Like, he went against his father. He was like, Dad, no, I want to be this kind of man now. Like, she went against her manager, her mom, father and mom. They were like, no, we want to be these people. And this is who we always wanted to be. When she take out that hair, I'm like, yes, girl, take that purple hair out. Like, take it out and sing
Mexico,
Blackbird.
Yeah.
Like, that's, yes, I love them so much. That was a great movie. That soft space for Gugu. You know, her name is Gugu Mbatha or something like that. Yeah, so she, yes. So now.
That's hard. Enoch.
Yeah, I have mine. So
You have yours?
I have mine already. I was able to find it.
Yeah.
Oh, dang, it's just me.
It's
That's
just
fine.
you. So you have two to think about. You want to go first? Or you want me to go first?
I don't want to go first.
Okay, I'll go first. So I don't know if this is. I mean,
Wait,
to me,
how good is yours? Is it decent?
I think it's decent.
Okay, mine's like a little less than decent, so I'll go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think most of you guys have seen my movie, though. That's the thing.
Okay. I'm pretty sure everybody's seen mine.
Okay.
Sherlock Holmes.
Which one? The new one with Robert Downey Jr.?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there any other one?
Ooh.
Fair.
I mean, I know there is, but Robert Downey Jr. just, he's the only American actor that can pull off a British dude. You know that? I'm just saying.
He is Iron Man.
He is Iron Man. Anyways, he and Rachel McAdams, right? It's just like, you know how like superhero complex, right? I mean, like drawn to fix somebody. That's what that relationship reminds me of. And I don't necessarily. Holmes's purpose is to solve mysteries. And beyond just the mysteries that are in front of him, like the mysteries of life, I think. And he's willing to push boundaries to do it and all of that. And all I see Rachel McAdams doing is just like going around.
Being hot.
Being hot.
I am Sherlock Holmes. He is me.
Yes. Yes. That is what I am saying. No, and she is psychologically extremely intelligent. And that's probably is a large portion of his attraction towards her. The thing is, she's not helping him build himself. She's not helping anybody build anything. She's not solving mysteries. She's not trying to make anyone's life better, including her own, in my opinion. And I don't think that was good for Brand until Game of Shadows.
Second one.
Right? In the end, she finally actually starts letting him in. Like, truly.
He just had to earn that unconditional, right?
Maybe so. But they didn't even get to enjoy it, though. Because right when they got it, there was that moment between them, right? Where it was there. And then a few scenes later, she's gone. She was killed. Which, I mean, if you're gonna either have it or not have it, I would have rather them have it.
Yeah.
Right. Have that moment. That moment that is more intimate than anything else that two people can share.
They have a part 3 that's coming out, and I'm hopes that she'll make a return.
Okay.
They'll find a way.
Okay.
They'll find a way. Okay, so have you thought yours is? Okay, you got it, girl. I believe in you.
You want me to go? So
no, I can go.
You want me to go? I'll go last.
Okay, you can go last.
Yeah.
So I don't think most people. I mean, this movie's amazing. I love this movie. But a lot of people haven't seen it. It's called Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Okay, I got some people who've seen it. First of all, I'm happy. Okay, great.
Everyone needs to see this movie.
It's fantastic. It's a fantastic movie. It's a fantastic love story because it's this guy. And he's with this girl, and so she's on a television show, and he does the music for the television show. So on the outskirts, it seems like their brand is perfect.
Okay.
Like their brand is everything. And so really the second, right after the opening scene, she breaks up with him because she found somebody else. And so literally his entire, he spends the next 50 to 60 minutes of this movie pretty much just trying to get this girl back. Because he is like, I love you. I love you, baby. You are the one. You are it. You are my everything. Until he finds somebody who sees him. Because this relationship, he doesn't realize the entire time she doesn't see who I am. Until he finds this other girl who's like, his little weird dreams. Like, he has a dream, he has a dream of making a vampire puppet musical. I did not stutter. Vampire puppet
Don't say that before they watch it. They
Vampire puppet musical, okay? This podcast is going to spoiler alert, okay? That's his dream. Now, as me and 99% of all people would be like, okay, that's a dream that you need to keep in your deepest of closets. Don't ever bring it out. And that's what his girlfriend did. But this woman he meets is like, no. In fact, go on stage and sing the song that you've written about it in front of all these complete strangers. Like, excuse me? And then she's like, she wanted to hear it. And she supported him in that one thing. And then that was the brand. And so, like, as he starts seeing that, it's like, oh, we didn't have a brand. Like, with me and my girlfriend, she was nothing. It was like, I was her brand. We weren't a brand.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was like, he did everything to elevate her, but she did nothing to elevate him. So, like, if he's only elevating her, what he's really doing is demising himself, declining for her to be so great. And that's tragic, and I love that movie. Leah, you should watch that movie. It's one of the greatest love stories in my opinion. It told in comedic form because it's really hard to make a comedy and like a great love story in that. But it's one of the greatest comedic love stories I've ever seen before in my life. Mila Kunis is the darling. I fell in love with Mila Kunis in that movie. Like, she could have been one of my criteria for a great woman from that. Like, she's fantastic. And then it's what's his name? Jeff Siegel. Yeah, it's Jeff Siegel. I think it's Jeff Siegel.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay. Jeff Siegel, like, he's amazing. Like I said, I didn't watch the How I Met Your Mother or anything like that. So that was like my first interaction with him, and I was like, oh my god. And like, yeah, he's amazing, super funny, stuff like that. So yes, that would be mine.
So for mine, it's gonna make a lot of people mad. Just gonna go ahead and put that disclaimer out here now.
Okay.
The movie that I feel.
Are we gonna be friends after this?
We'll see. We'll see. We're putting our friendship on the line with this one. I feel like I've told you how I feel about this movie because there's elements of it where I feel like the brand there wasn't an equally yoked thing. In the end, it turns out well, but for most of the movie,
If you see my hand get tighter on his shoulder, what are we doing?
The movie I am speaking about is Love and Basketball.
Okay, I figure. Okay, now we get. Yep. I just said that for another podcast.
For that one, I feel like it was so wrong on Q's part. Like, I feel for Monica. She had to go through so much. Like, they were perfect together. Mm-hmm. He gave up because of issues he had going on at home. Monica was there for him, broke up with her, had another woman. He has all these other women in the meantime. She's doing great, going overseas, and literally has to fight for their love to come back before he gets married. Like, she shouldn't have to go through all that. Yeah. Because they were such a good match. So in the end, I'm glad they got together, but I don't like all the circles she had to run in order to bring them together.
So, but she wasn't necessarily there for him, like.
But he didn't let her either. Like, you also have to look at both sides.
He wanted her to
I love that point, though. You have to let someone be there for you.
Yeah.
Well, even that is a two-way street.
Yeah. Come on. Thank you, Blair. Yes.
Don't do this. Don't act like y'all known each other for 10 years. Don't do this. So while I do agree with you, it was like he wanted her to break that curfew. He was hurting. Mm-hmm. He needed her that moment. He needed her to not be a basketball player, which is unfair to ask of her. Yeah. But in his mind, he shouldn't have ever had to ask. In his mind, if the situation had been reversed, he would have did it for her.
But then it was what happened even after that.
I mean, so again, I did enjoy that he didn't bring her down the rabbit hole with him. Because she was willing. She was pretty much willing at that point before they broke up. She was like, well, who do I need to be? What do I need to do? And he saw that, and he was like,
which wasn't her highest self.
It wasn't her highest self. It was like desperate. To me, that was completely Monica, her most unattractive. And he was like, you know what? I'm going through some things that you don't have time for, so we just need to go part ways. Yeah. So I appreciated him for that. That he let her go and did not deal with his mess. Now, he shouldn't have he should have told her that the next day instead of going on a date with a girl and doing something. Yes. He just, as he said, he just took hold of Burger King. That's what he did. So, but yes, I do agree. It was, in that moment, it was pretty, it wasn't a brand for the marriage.
It's funny how one moment can make such a big difference.
That's true.
One moment can make or break you. Every single thing. That's why life should be lived full as every single one, because it's all about that one moment. That one moment you can be this. That one moment you can be that. You can gain it all or you can lose it all in that one moment. So it's a whole big thing, man. And usually that one moment is a woman.
Oh man. There is always a woman involved.
There is. No doubt. Oh man. That was great though. Great examples, by the way. Great examples. That was probably our best example in any of the podcasts. I appreciate each of those examples. So yeah, okay. So this final part of the segment.
Okay.
It's great when we have a guest because me and Blair have to work less. So I had to try to discover something I learned about Blair in this podcast. I'm like, I know him so well already. What do I learn? But now you get to do the hard job and
in
say
the hot seat.
exactly what did you learn about Blair and myself today.
So I actually like the combination of us three. I kind of combine it, right? So I like that I spoke in the beginning about purpose, and I like how each of our purposes in one way or another align. So like for instance, I'm in healthcare, you're dealing with healing. I think that's beautiful because when I get more into business, that's going to be the nonprofit that I want to pour into. So I feel like that's how we'll continue to partner. Then with you doing family, that's a part of community. So I kind of like that sense of we're all going towards our goals in different ways, but they all meld like in a beautiful way. So yeah, I learned how we all connect.
Ladies and gentlemen, again, if you haven't absolutely fallen in love with Leah Mason, the fact that she took what she didn't learn about Blair and Enoch, she learned about Blair and Enoch. Like, I mean, and she put it together with her entire life and made it a whole village. Like, again, Leah, you just leave me in awe. Like, for us to have known each other for 16 years.
That's wild.
Longer than I've known my little sister. And you to still be leaving me in awe. Well done, madam.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you, Dave.
Don't you just absolutely love her, right? Absolutely. So, thank you again for listening, watching, tuning in to another episode of Breaking and Entering. Again, all the support is always much appreciated. Like, we always feel it. Share it. Tell people about it. Like, I think we have a gem on our hands. I think this is something that, could help a lot of people. If bare minimum, it can make you laugh. So,
yeah, I think we have fun.
We have fun. So, until next time, I'm Enoch.
I'm Blair.
And I'm Leah.